Hi. I'm going to channel love energy, and they have allowed us to call them Aaron. So I am the host, I'm the channeler. I am not Aaron, but you'll see, they'll come through in a moment, and they're a little bit different than me. So if you like the videos, press subscribe on YouTube. And if you'd like to have a private channeling session, I can do that on the Facebook page. You can book on there. And I hope you hear something that touches your heart and moves you today. Okay, I'll say goodbye at the end. We would like to speak of something that is close to your heart. It is the freedom of the young ones to play. If you watch them and you come across them quite easily, they're just all about the place. They seem as if they are different creatures than you. They speak differently, they move differently, they behave, they act differently. Yet they certainly look like they are human, and yet they seem so different than you. You remove yourself as if you are watching a different creature. That's really the way to put it. We wish to point this out so you become aware that you see them and me. Them meaning children. Me. We are different. So as you sit with that for a moment, you will understand that you judge them. You say, I won't do that. Why are you doing that? That seems odd. I can't do that. I wish I could do that. All of these sort of judgments or thoughts that go through your mind when you see a child just acting as if they are a child. But they are different than you. Of course, we are coming around to something valuable for you to understand. Of course, in your brain, you all know that you used to be a child, but there is some memory that is lost about what it feels like to be one. It's as if you turned a corner into adulthood and decided to cut off the memories. Most of you have done this. You've cut off the memories of your emotional child. We often speak of dancing, singing energy work like this. We spend a lot of you have asked us to remind you of this often because you have forgotten, because it was the way you were as a child. So now we've come around to this. The person that you wish to be today, that you have asked us to remind you vibrationally, is the child. So if you have asked us to remind you of the childlike you, why is it you yourself have put up blocks to forget? You see, you have asked to be reminded of a general childlike behavior, which is dancing, singing, smiling, napping, giving everything you have until you're exhausted. This is the sort of broad idea you have of a child that you would like to be behaving like as an adult. And yet you yourself have cut yourself off from your childhood. We are going to tell you why, of course. Many of you are a few steps ahead, so you already know. Your childhood was not like this. Your childhood was not about singing and dancing, was it? Yet you've asked to be reminded through all of your human life to remember how to dance and sing and play. This is very important for you to understand more than you will know, perhaps, because it sounds so simple. Yet for you it's very complicated. You are not able to draw, you see, the dancing, the singing out of your life. You're not able to pull it apart, you see, because there's lots of mess and lessons and adults dominating and very bad experiences mingled with your singing and dancing and playing. So you can't pull it apart. So instead you lock it away. But yet you wish to be reminded to be childlike. So, we're going to give you a new memory. You've all got it. When you saw your first snowfall, you couldn't help but stare at it. It's majestic. It's overwhelming. It's spectacular. You took the time to stare at it. Just stare at it. What is this beauty? What is this? When you lie on the grass, you could see the small little animals. They were running up and down the leaves of grass. You stared at them. What are you doing? Up and down, up and down. The water that would be pooling on the earth, you had to jump into it. You had to walk through it and splash it and kick it and see. Do you come back into the place where you were full a moment ago, even though I kicked you out? These memories you all have, these are curiosity. So this is the part we will remind you of today. You are still curious beings. You don't really know everything. Just because you're bigger and you've learned a lot of things and you've heard many things, underneath it all, you are curious beings. You will always be curious. You just don't take the time. Will you take the time to be curious today? When you hear something or see something you don't know, will you take a moment to notice it and stare at it until you understand it? Not understand it, but you will at least be filled with information about it. You will not understand all things, that's impossible, but you can stare and behold and appreciate and be curious. Will you be curious today? There is much love here for you. Namaste. I always have a little burst of energy at the end, so that's just the way it is. I really liked that, because sometimes I write off my whole childhood. I'll try to be curious today. I hope you are too.